From the very first iPhone to the latest model, see how the iPhone changed with time and transformed technology. In June 2007, Apple introduced its first iPhone, which launched for $499. It came with a 2-megapixel camera and brought music, calls, and internet into one device. In July 2008, the iPhone 3G arrived with a price tag of $199. It still had a 2-megapixel camera, but added 3G internet and the App Store, changing mobile forever. June 2010 saw the release of the iPhone 4, sold at $199. It offered a 5-megapixel rear camera and even a front VGA camera for FaceTime. Its Retina display and glass design made it iconic. By October 2011, Apple rolled out the iPhone 4S, available from $199. It featured an 8-megapixel camera and introduced Siri, the first voice assistant on iPhone. September 2012 brought the iPhone 5, starting at $199. It had an 8-megapixel rear camera and a 1.2-megapixel selfie camera, plus a taller 4-inch display with the new Lightning port. In September 2013, the iPhone 5S came out, set at $199. It carried an 8-megapixel rear camera, but improved for low light. September 2014 saw the iPhone 6 enter the market, priced from $199. It had an 8-megapixel rear camera with faster focus and a 1.2-megapixel front camera. March 2016 introduced the iPhone SE, sold at $399. It borrowed the 12-megapixel camera from the iPhone 6s, all inside the compact iPhone 5s body. Later in September 2016, Apple released the iPhone 7, which carried a starting cost of $649. It packed a 12-megapixel rear camera and a 7-megapixel selfie camera. September 2017 gave us the iPhone 8, available at $699. Its 12-megapixel main camera and 7-megapixel selfie camera were improved for HDR. In November 2017, Apple marked 10 years with the iPhone X, starting at $999. It offered dual 12-megapixel rear cameras and a 7-megapixel selfie camera alongside Face ID sensors. October 2018 brought the iPhone XR, sold for $749. It carried a single 12-megapixel rear camera and a 7-megapixel front camera. Also in 2018, the iPhone XS Max launched with a price tag of $999. It had dual 12-megapixel rear cameras and a 7-megapixel selfie camera, paired with Apple's largest display yet. In September 2019, the iPhone 11 arrived, offered at $699. It introduced dual 12-megapixel wide and ultra-wide cameras, plus a 12-megapixel selfie camera with night mode. Alongside it came the iPhone 11 Pro, costing $999 at launch. It was Apple's first with 3 12-megapixel rear cameras and a 12-megapixel selfie camera, giving users pro photography tools. April 2020 reintroduced the iPhone SE, available from $399. It had a single 12-megapixel rear camera and a 7-megapixel front camera. October 2020 brought the iPhone 12, sold at $799. It featured dual 12-megapixel cameras with night mode and a 12-megapixel front camera. By November 2020, the iPhone 12 Pro Max hit the shelves with a price tag of $999. It carried triple 12-megapixel rear cameras with a larger sensor, plus a 12-megapixel selfie camera. September 2021 gave us the iPhone 13 mini, launched for $699. It packed dual 12-megapixel cameras and a 12-megapixel selfie camera into a small, compact body. In the same month, the iPhone 13 Pro arrived, available at $999. It had triple 12-megapixel cameras, a 12-megapixel front camera, and a smooth 120 Hz ProMotion display. September 2022 introduced the iPhone 14 Pro, starting from $999. It came with a 48-megapixel main camera plus 2 12-megapixel lenses, along with a 12-megapixel selfie camera. By September 2023, Apple launched the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which carried a price of $1,199. It used a 48-megapixel main sensor, ultra-wide, and telephoto cameras. September 2024 brought the iPhone 16. Released for $999, it featured upgraded 1648-megapixel dual cameras and a 12-megapixel front camera. By September 2025, the iPhone 17 entered the market, sold at $799. It carried dual 48-megapixel cameras and a 12-megapixel selfie camera. Released in September 2025, the iPhone 17 Pro, Pro Max, and Air started from $999. They offered next-level performance with advanced AI-powered photography.